Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Module 4 Platforms. Now, I'm guessing that most of you who are watching this are all largely using Facebook. And look, that's absolutely fine. You're probably aware of the stats that Facebook and YouTube have the most active users, close to 3 billion for both of those outlets. Now, I haven't put this in order of the number of active users because for me, that is not the current trend of how you're going to get leads, and this is just my opinion. Facebook's certainly number one because you're all into organic, or at least I think you're into the organic approach on Facebook, so that is number one. But hopefully by looking at these platforms, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an insight into other areas, other platforms, where some of them are really untapped as well, by the way, where you're likely to find your ideal stroke dream perfect customer, and you're going to have less competition because look, everybody is on Facebook, and to a certain extent there's a growing trend on TikTok and on Instagram, particularly if you've come out of the legendary marketer program, because they have a very heavy emphasis on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram, whereas if you're in a Jonathan Montoya club stroke program, you're probably going to be more on these two, which is YouTube and TikTok, which are huge actually. Now, I'm going to dive deeper into all of these, but this is just a rundown of what we're going to be looking through. And then finally, I'm going to kind of pre-frame you for the next module, which is branding and omnipresence, and why these platforms can be so powerful for you when you use a combination and not just a single platform. Now, I know that there's going to be a lot of mentors out there that say, hey, just stick with one platform, master that one platform. Well, if that's your belief, then I'm not going to try and shift that. But what I would say is that there's definitely like common sense in don't overwhelm yourself by trying to put yourself everywhere. But you're going to see that you're missing out on a lot of opportunity, and we're going to really cover it in this component here. You're going to miss out on a lot of opportunity if you don't get yourself set up on these other platforms, and it's relatively easy to do, and again we're going to discuss that here, because you don't need to be generating multiple pieces of content for these platforms. You do it with the same piece of content, you're just repurposing that content. So it takes a little bit of extra time, but with the same content, which is most of the work, you can apply it across multiple platforms, and it builds great congruence in your brand, and it just opens up the floodgates for a hell of a lot more potential customers. Okay, again, you're only after laser targeted ones. You don't want to waste your time preaching to people that are never going to be interested in what you're offering them, because that's just a waste of your time primarily. It's also a waste of theirs. So we're going to dive in now and look at Facebook, and as I've said a little while ago, this is probably what most of you are using. I'm not going to touch really too much or go too deep, because you've all been on Facebook for a long time, and I think you know how it all works. At just under 3 billion users, it's an incredibly powerful platform. You've got loads and loads and loads of people, but the problem with it is that everybody is playing for the same attention to the audience that you are. Now, particularly with organic, that's harder, or let's say more time consuming than ads. Ads are the easy way, or easier, to reach your target audience, but you have to pay. But for me, it's a trade-off, because even with organic, you're paying. Now, if you don't know what I mean by that, there's a value to your time. Now, you may not have considered this, but there is a value to your time, and you need to put dollars on your time, because you could easily get absorbed into hundreds of hours of work into organic and then get excited about a commission. But if you divide it into the number of hours that you've actually spent generating that result, you'll just see how ridiculous that equation is. Okay, it becomes easier with time, but I really want to get you focused on monetizing your time, because ads versus organic is not necessarily as bad as people think. Now, I'm not going to get into an argument here about you should, or trying to sell your ads. No, I use ads, I use organic, period, because each one has a particular benefit for me in my business according to what offer or promotion I'm doing at a particular time. I just want to kind of open the floodgates a little bit so that there's a trickle of water for you to understand that you do need to be valuing your time, and you do need to bring it into the equation and leave your mind open to the possibility that at some point in the future you may want to consider going down the ad route as well as organic. I'm not, by any stretch, don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to stop organic at all. No, it's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying open your mind a little bit on all of these platforms, that it doesn't always have to be organic. Okay, so with that said, we're going to jump on now to TikTok. Now, at the moment, this is one of my favorite platforms, and the reason for that, it's only on the cusp of where it's going to go. Now, it's about number 5 or 6 in the in the order of the number of active users on it. Facebook and YouTube, and I think WhatsApp, and then a couple of others, and then here comes TikTok. But forget the active users. TikTok is about the number of hours that people watch. They watch significantly more content on TikTok than they ever do on YouTube, and they engage a lot more than they ever do on Facebook. So you're getting a more engaged audience totally on TikTok, and it's short, it's sweet, it's to the point. It's not for everybody, and you don't necessarily have to make a fool of yourself on TikTok to get results either. It can be done without showing your face even, but it's in the messaging, it's in the content, exactly the same as Facebook. If you've not got the right content, you won't get the correct engagement. So for me, it's irrelevant, because it's all about the content, not about the platform. It's about how you put together a compelling piece of text, words, a combination of words that drive home and resonate with your perfect customer. So bear TikTok in mind. It is probably the most influential organic reach that you can get right now. And I know people in my circle who I've come through the journey with that are actually getting tremendous results with TikTok. So just bear that in mind. Okay, it's going to be massive. This is just the start. So if you've come from the Legendary Marketer program, drop back into that, and they've got some really, really good assets on TikTok. If you're not, then you can follow a guy called Robert Benjamin, and he's on YouTube. I personally have taken his mentorship program because he's helped me with the number of followers, and he's helped me a lot with content and what I should be putting out to get more target reach. I'm not here to sell you that, but you can get a lot of free stuff from Robert. He's an expert on TikTok. He used to work for Gary Vee, and he left to focus on only TikTok and building up and becoming an authority in that space, which he has. And he's got a lot of great content for free on YouTube. So that would be a recommendation if you want to get started. Next, YouTube. Now, excuse the spelling mistake, I'll correct that. Second largest search vehicle behind Google. Now, again, people are potentially going to struggle with YouTube because they are scared of showing their face. Well, you don't have to. Again, I'm giving you this presentation without showing my face. You know what I look like. I did the first module with me sitting in my car before I went into my office, so you know who I am. I don't have a problem, but some people do have a problem with it, and I understand that. That's absolutely 100% fine. But what I'm demonstrating here is that you can still get your message across. You can still do like what I'm doing here without showing your face. And these modules are going onto my YouTube channel as well. So, you know, you can still create content. You can still create great content that will resonate with your audience. And I suggest, if you're not already, get yourself a YouTube channel. It doesn't cost any money, and start building up. You're not going to be an overnight success, but if you keep chipping away and just upload a couple of episodes, you know, a couple of videos every single week, slowly you're going to see growth, and people will buy from you on YouTube. I know people that I've been in contact with for a long time, and seen what they've been doing on YouTube, and they've got tremendous results. They started from hardly anything. They were worried, they were scared. Am I going to be successful? Now they've got thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers, and they're earning thousands of dollars a month in selling affiliate products, because what they do is they get on YouTube, they give an honest review about a particular product, put the link below, boom, if someone likes what they've talked about, they buy it. Wow, what a powerful mechanism. A lot less work than Facebook as well, by the way. So you don't have to show your face. Incredibly powerful platform. Next one is LinkedIn. Now, I'm not going to go into too much here, because I think for a lot of you, it's probably not going to be applicable. For me, this is my number one platform for my Pacific sub-niche that I deal with, where most of my time goes, and it's not this super turbo affiliates. As you may know, 30 years plus working at very high level in a consultancy capacity in construction. So my knowledge is being sold to people that get value from that knowledge in the construction space, and LinkedIn is really where my dream customers hang out, more so than Facebook. Facebook for me is just, you know, delivering some value around the affiliate marketing space based on my experience as a marketer for, you know, 30 plus years at top level stuff in big corporates. But LinkedIn for me is the number one. But I think for you in the affiliate marketing space, probably not going to be the place where your ideal customer hangs out. But at the end of the day, situations change for any individuals or for the offers that you're presenting, and it may be, you know, you're in the space in a few months or a few years' time where you are working on products that have more resonation with the professional community, and LinkedIn is certainly up there as terms of engagement that people will interact and be interested in what you're offering. So those for me were the main ones, but there are others, and these are not to be dismissed either. Instagram and Instagram Reels, for example. Now, I've personally found with Instagram that for affiliate marketing, it's not as powerful as TikTok. You don't, and this is just my experience, you may have a different experience, but Instagram tends to be more like, dare I say it, younger crowds who are, you know, easily persuadable into the latest trends of whatever's going on in their world, makeup, fashion, celebrities, and that type of thing. I know a number of people that are on Instagram in the affiliate marketing space, and they've all shared with me that the impact of Instagram is nowhere near as much as it is in other platforms. Even some of them have said that Pinterest is a lot more powerful than Instagram for them, and it's certainly my experience as well. Like, I have an Instagram account, don't get me wrong, and I post to Instagram and I post to Reels, repurposed from TikTok, repurposed from other content that I'm doing that is congruent across all of these platforms. But I don't find that Instagram or Instagram Reels is as engaging as TikTok or YouTube Shorts, for that matter. And YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels were only born out of the fact that they saw that TikTok was becoming such a force and a momentum in the space of short videos aimed at, boom, you know, and people move on because, you know, people's attention span is quite low. That's always been the case. That's why, you know, when you sit in a seminar, you're engaged for the first 10 minutes, and then you're like, oh, yeah, you're looking at the walls and you're looking at the ceilings. It's your attention span. It's a human thing. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with us. In fact, it's just, you know, the exact opposite. It's telling us that we are normal because your mind can't grab all of those components. But that's why TikTok has been successful, and Instagram and YouTube have tried to keep up with that pace, recognizing that it is something that people want. Another one is Twitter. I have a Twitter account. I personally don't like it, but that's kind of irrelevant really, because it does have a strong outreach, and again, for me, it's repurposed stuff. So I'll just tweet, like, you know, when the series guide is done, I'll probably tweet, hey, you know, like a new series guide out, you know, anyone interested, you know, blah, 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 blah. So it's better than nothing. It's better than not using it. It has reach, but again, it's about congruency. Quora, I don't know whether anyone knows, but I made a Pacific video, which you can find on my YouTube channel, actually, about Quora. And you've got to be persistent, and you've got to be patient. You know, it doesn't happen overnight, and there's a certain process and technique with it. But it's people asking questions, and a lot of them are just made up. People are just, I don't know, people are just odd sometimes. They post all kinds of crap and then want to engage with you, trying to sell you Bitcoin and stuff. You know, it's all nonsense. But there are some genuine people asking for genuine questions and looking for solutions, answers. So I spend a bit of time on there. I'm now able, because I've been on there for a while, to spot, you know, what I potentially think is, you know, the idiot question, as I call it, versus the genuine question. And if I feel it's a genuine question, I will go in and spend time answering it for people, again, not after necessarily particularly wanting to sell something, but it builds up your audience, it builds up your authority. Pinterest. Now, this is a really powerful mechanism. I don't use this to the extent that I should, to be perfectly honest. But this is really, really powerful. It's got a lot of users, and it's got a lot of people that are interested when they're users as well. They really engage. And I probably need to find time myself to build I have an account, but I need to build the momentum in that account, because I can't remember even the last time I logged in. It was, you know, ages ago. So just having a sip of coffee. But you know, go and check it out. I'll probably come to a point where I'm going to do a separate video on this once I've gone through and worked it all out. Reddit is another one. Now, I do use this, again, the Omnipresence. I repurpose stuff, and I've got an account, and I always post it on Reddit. Limited engagement, it's a bit like Instagram for me, but I'm always one. Well, I've already written the content. It takes me like 30 seconds to repurpose it and load it on Reddit. You know, if I'm not there, I won't get seen. If I'm there, I might get seen, and that's the difference, you know. Not and might is, you know, it may actually lead to someone that's interested in what you're talking about, what you have. So, you know, it's all potential lead generation. Another one, Social Bee. I don't particularly use this one, but it is out there. It's got a number of users. It is growing, and it's an up-and-coming social platform, so you might want to check that out. And I'm sure that, you know, there's heaps of others as well, but these for me are the main ones where you're going to get an audience that are interested, and they are potential customers. So the tie-in with Omnipresence, all of this is kind of pre-framing for the next module, because the next module I'm going to talk about branding and Omnipresence. And just to give you a heads up, Omnipresence is just about taking your brand and splitting it congruently across all the different platforms. So you're increasing your exposure, you're allowing people to see you in different places, and what that does is it builds confidence in the people that's viewing it, and it slowly strengthens your authority in the space that you're dealing with. So in our space, it's affiliate marketing, and the more that you can do that, it's amazing how the end user, the customer, is going to get more confidence in that, because they see it as a good thing that you're in all these multiple places. Because, you know, trustworthy brands and bigger brands are exactly the same. They're all over the place. You can't avoid them, and that's really what Omnipresence is all about. So with that said, we're going to wrap this one up. I'm going to get it saved and processed and loaded into Facebook, and then we're going to dive into branding and omnipresence in the next training module. See you in the next one.